Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Network, and today we are celebrating my 1500th subscriber. It has been a long road, but I feel this is a huge milestone. No, it's not Arlo or GameXplain numbers, but I don't expect those numbers yet either. I work hard on my content and hope people really enjoy it, and at least 1500 of you do. Probably more, but people are picky when subscribing for some reason. But to celebrate, I'll be doing a question and answer session so you can get to know me just a little bit more. For the past while, I've been asking for questions to answer from you, and now it is the time. I will try to match footage to what I'm talking about, but it won't always happen all the time, so enjoy random game footage while I talk. Time to get to know the Nintendo Network a little bit more. From Scatty on YouTube, what started my channel? Perfect question to start us off. Well, the original idea came from a Facebook group I started called the Amiibo News Network, which I would post about new Amiibo info and when Amiibo would go up for pre-order or sale. This was back when Amiibo were bloody rare to find and get a hold of, like finding the Holy Grail sometimes. And if you have seen my Amiibo videos, you know that I love them. And no, I'm not ready to admit I have a problem. After the Amiibo craze died down a little bit, I changed it to the Nintendo News Network Facebook group to go over all of Nintendo going-ons. Then 2017 hit. In a short amount of time, I lost my job and my mother lost her battle with a rare form of leukemia. With the excess free time after looking for a new job and a sense of, for a lack of better term, carpe diem, I decided to try YouTube. Doing videos had been something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I was always very hesitant. Along with my wife, my mom was always a huge supporter of anything I did. I know if she was still alive, she'd be one of the first people to watch my videos, even though she would not know what I was talking about 80% of the time. Shortly after I started the channel, named the Nintendo News Network, I found out I was not the only one, but there are other channels with that name, but they've long been since abandoned, but finding me would be hard. Plus, I wasn't really doing news per se. So I then changed to the Nintendo Network, and the rest is history. Scatty also asked if I wanted help on my Spirit videos. Really not much more is needed beyond editing at this point. At the start of the year, I started recording all the footage and I have it all ready for every single Spirit. I wrote all the scripts already and prepared most of the assets for the videos too. Editing is all that is needed, and man oh man, this is taking longer than I expected though. Each Spirit explanation can take from 20 seconds to a minute, so I have to locate footage for each individual Spirit, and it's not in order, it's all random because of World of Light and the Spirit board. But I do have a sheet that tells me what video they're in so I can pinpoint them a little bit easier. After that, and I'm not sure many people notice, the music for each video is the same as the music during the battle for the Spirit. So it is a lot of precise editing for all that. With Zelda done and Mario nearing completion, the larger ones are almost completed, so I hope to knock out a lot more faster. I appreciate the offer though. From L Series on YouTube, is there one Nintendo franchise I can't get into? This would be a tie between FZero and Warrior. So let's address one at a time. For FZero, I'm odd when it comes to racing games. I'm pretty much not a fan of most. I do love me some Mario Kart, but other ones, realistic or not, I have a hard time getting into, and FZero is no exception. But from doing research for the Spirit Battle videos, I did learn to love the characters more and more. I'm in no way saying FZero is a badly designed game, that's far from it, it's just not my cup of tea. As for WarioWare, I can't get into it. I don't know why. Perhaps it stems from me not being a huge Wario fan, or the rapid progression of mini games that happen one after another that most of the games have. And no matter how hard I've tried, I can't get myself invested in the game to play it too much. Not to say either franchise is bad, they're great and have a ton of great fans, but they're just not for me. Jean-Pierre Monero from YouTube asks, what's my favorite Mario game and why? Probably Mario 64. I do know parts of it hasn't aged horribly well, but to me it is such a grand adventure. It is a game I can pick up and just play anytime. Some older games can be a chore just to turn on and get into, but Mario 64 is different for me. Much like how Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite Sonic game. Both games have a lot of issues, they're not perfect, flaws everywhere, but I just love them. From Kool-Aid Moonwalker, why is Nintendo my favorite gaming company? This is an easy question and a hard question. Maybe because Nintendo has always been there for me as a child. Going to get a little bit deep here. I had a bit of a rough childhood. My father, for the most part, was out of the picture. My mom worked multiple jobs. Back then I didn't really notice it, but she did that to make sure I never went without, and I will forever be grateful for the sacrifices she had made. But there were many times I was left alone. I had to learn to take care of myself, cook, clean, etc. at an early age. But no matter what, Mario was there when I felt alone. Link was there when I needed a friend. Nintendo's characters and stories molded me a bit. I wanted to have courage like Link to brave any challenge. I wanted to go to new adventures and Links like Mario. I wanted to go on a grand adventure and meet new friends and be the very best like Red. Because they helped me cope with life and honestly helped me from going down some bad paths. Nintendo's my favorite gaming company because no matter what life is throwing at me, no matter what crappy state the world is being engulfed in, no matter how lonely I was, I always had Nintendo. Logan Harris from YouTube asked, what is my favorite Nintendo controller? As cliched as it sounds, I love the Nintendo GameCube controller. It just feels right in your hand, and a close second would be the Switch Pro controller. From T-Money, bro, what are my thoughts on non-Nintendo games? A lot are great. I have mentioned before I was on an Xbox 360 kick a few years ago between the Wii and the Wii U. I had a Sega Genesis and a Dreamcast, and Sonic is one of my favorite franchises. No, not every game is great, and a lot of them have flaws, but I do enjoy most of them. Half of them. Half sounds right. Anyways, there was a time period where me and my friends would play 4-player Call of Duty because it was sort of mindless fun with local playing. Brought us back to the days of GoldenEye, only without Oddjob to make it really unfair. I'm not a Nintendo gamer who hates the other companies and the gamers who enjoy them. Video games deserve a diverse field of content and creators. It pushes them all to better themselves. Plenty of people who don't like Nintendo but love Sony. Cool. I personally don't have an Xbox One or PS4. My time is limited and there's not enough time to justify those purchases as I'm always engulfed in Nintendo games. And especially with the amount of games coming out for the Switch, I don't think that's changing anytime soon. Carlos Pavel from YouTube asks, sorry if I mispronounced that, what's my favorite series to make for my channel? Without a doubt, it is the Not So Brief Histories. I know some of you might have thought the Spirit Battles, but Not So Brief is a passion project, in particular the Mega Man X Series 1. It took a long time to make, but I just love it. I feel a lot of the jokes are on point. What more, it made me go back and play through the entire series, which is one reason the videos take forever. Just reading an online description takes away a lot of the impact for me when researching it. It's the reason I don't have the Mega Man Legend videos done yet. I've started to write the script, but I haven't played the Legends games in nearly 8 or 10 years. I need to obtain the copies of the games and get to playing them again so I can write that script and get going with it. I also plan on expanding it further beyond Mega Man franchises. The videos are just a lot of work, and I'm a one-man operation, but they won't stop. I think it'll be a lot better once I'm done with the Spirit Battle videos. Carlos also asked what my favorite console was. Ooh, tough. I have to give a tie to Nintendo 64 and the GameCube. The N64 gave us 3D games and was such a huge step from the SNES. Then the GameCube, for me at least, well, fine-tuned most of those and made some amazing stellar games. Wind Waker is still one of my most favorite Zelda games ever, and I know it has flaws. Sunshine has a very special place in my heart, and I can pick up both those games and play them anytime. Pokemon Journey from YouTube asks a lot of questions, which I really loved, so let's go down the line. Do I think I would have made it this far on YouTube? Yes and no. When I started out, I was rather cocky and thought I'd boom overnight. That did not happen. Even though 1500 is still small in comparison to a lot of other channels, to me it is huge and I love that I'm even that big. Do I like Tetris? I'm really bad at those games. It can be fun for a short little game or two, but just not my cup of tea. My favorite Mario character? Probably Yoshi and Mario are tied for that. What's my real name? Dustin. You can see it in many Smash videos, and when I do discussions, I always say my name as well. What's my favorite Pokemon? Mew is my all-time favorite Pokemon, with Tyrantrum and Rampardos a close second, which isn't shocking if you've noticed my love for Jurassic Park. What is my favorite Smash game? Ultimate, but I think Brawl would be a close second due to that was a time when I was hanging out with my friends weekly, and even more than that, and we'd play Brawl all the time and I had such fond memories. 9volt asked a similar question, but added who's my favorite video game character to make it into Smash. Mega Man, hands down. His inclusion was something I never thought would happen. I still think he has the best newcomer video. Don't at me. Wait, you can at me. I need more exposure. Why do people say that? Paul Carnes from YouTube asks, who do you want most in Smash and who are my mains? Geno. 100% Geno from Super Mario RPG. For the longest time, it has always been Banjo and Geno, and Banjo is in. At the moment, I honestly don't have high hopes for Geno, but I will wish to the star row that Geno makes it in Smash one day. As for my mains, I tend to juggle a few with each game. Keep in mind I am a casual player. For Ultimate, it is Roy, Mega Man, Dark Pit, Donkey Kong, a character I've never really liked playing until Ultimate, and Robin. I'm truly hoping Banjo makes his way onto the list. Dakota Corliss from YouTube asks something similar. Most wanted Smash newcomers, both first and third party. Geno hits the third party. For first party representation, probably Dixie Kong. She is long overdue, and yes, I feel K. Rool deserved a spot before her, as we needed more villains and K. Rool is just awesome, but Dixie is such a popular character and deserves her time in the spotlight, and not to be an echo of Diddy. She has some similar moves, but she's still a very different character. Toxic Pyro 21 from YouTube asks, my first Pokemon team to defeat the Elite Four. Well, this was back in Pokemon Blue. It was Venusaur, Blastoise, Nidoking, Raichu, Jolteon, and Machamp. Not the most balanced team, but hey, I was a kid. Maverick from YouTube asks, what's my favorite childhood game? Single game? Ooh, that's rough. But it'd have to go to Donkey Kong Country 2. I never owned the first DKC, well, as a child, I just rented it constantly at Blockbuster, but when Diddy's Conquest released, I got it for Christmas that same year and loved it more than the original. It did everything a sequel should do. I remember it fondly as something I've played so many times over and over again. It is a game I go back to every so often as it is that enjoyable. Simple to play and just beat, but to get everything takes a true mastery of the controls. This was a difficult one, honestly. I much rather have like favorite game per console, and as I write this, I see how painful that list could actually be. In a close second would be Mega Man Battle Network 3. So much of my gaming love comes from the Mega Man Battle Network series. I was in high school, so I still consider it my childhood. I also just love the Mega Man Battle Network series in general, if you couldn't tell. In fact, the network part of Nintendo Network comes from Mega Man Battle Network. Joe JS16 asks, what games do I plan on playing in the near future? Oh boy. So I'm hoping I can finish at least one path and 3 houses soon. I'm really loving it. But Nintendo poses some frustration for me. I'm getting excited for Dragon Quest XI, but Link's Awakening comes out the week before. And even the week before that, Daemon X Machina still has my interest. And then Spyro comes out at the start of the month. And Astral Chain does look kinda cool, but it comes out on the 30th, which is 2 days before September. And that's a lot, and that's not even including any indie games. Plus, Banjo's gonna come out in Smash probably in October, I would say. We have Luigi's Mansion, and Sword and Shield, which I'm still really excited to play. So I have a lot in the pipeline. And those are all the questions. I want to thank you all for them and anyone who's watching this. The past near 2 years of YouTube has been a roller coaster and a lot of fun, and I'm not done yet. 1,500 subscribers is just the start. I'm ready and excited for what Nintendo has to show us in the future and what my channel and I can become. What ideas I can get for videos. And honestly, I want to be a channel that listens to its fans, to be close to them. I'm not going to do videos I don't care about. I did that and I wasn't happy with what I was producing. But I want to know what interests you all so I can make the content that will make me happy and you enjoy it. I do hope one day that this channel is big enough to support more than just myself, as I got a lot of bigger ideas and to make them I need more than me. I know I'm still small, but hey, I can dream big. Thank you again. I'm nothing without all of your support. Until next time, this is the Nintendo Network.